Okay, so it is like, hang on, May 27, May 27, 2026. So we've asserted as fact Mr. Perry, Charles Perry, is human trafficking and trying to traffic me and trying to do a false arrest. And we've said that for, I don't know, 10, 15 years now, since 2015. And he gets caught when he does the crime to me. And we find out beforehand while he's planning it because he's under investigation. Nobody will tell him who's doing that, who's investigating him. Mr. Gabaldon, that means you, sir. You. Gabaldon, Gonzalez, Oscar Flores, Avila. Who are those people? I've never met those people. Who are they, Charles? Those are your people. If you interfere in something that I'm told by my boss who's investigating everybody and got your names, if you interfere, you got to deal with him. It's out of my hands. We can get names, you can't. Nobody will give you even one name, not even one. So, Mr. Perry is a nosy body Nancy with no life. And it's pathetic. The guy's pathetic. So, we are asserting these things as fact, and if he's doing this to me, and he's tried 100 different ways to put me in jail, using tax dollars to facilitate delivery in a human trafficking deal. How many victims at the compound were arrested just before they end up at a compound? Were they pregnant when they got there, or did they get pregnant after? How many times have they been pregnant? Were the kids? Where's the paperwork? Where's the education records? Where's the medical records? Where's the nutrition records? Sir, produce these documents. Produce the answers to my questions. Put up or shut up. Prove me wrong on fact. Not retaliation, not murder, not kidnapping, not a bunch of RICO violations. Prove me wrong on fact. We're pretty sure you can't, or you would have done it by now. Okay? You can't get even one name, and you act like you think you know who's investigating you. We're quoting you 9.8 million times. We have you guys talking about something criminal. We're intending to cause an injury to her or someone else. And here's what we're going to do to cause it. Most of the time, it's me. We have a couple of times where they intended an injury to somebody else, and if we had it before we got in front of it, sometimes we don't. We get about 98%. Nobody can get it all. But there's a lot of times we save somebody's life because we heard them talking about murder in the first degree. You're planning it, so we have evidence of malicious aforethought, premeditation, and criminal intent. You and mains ray. We got the mains ray. That's we got it nailed down. Because when you started doing this to me, you got caught. So, you have to prove me wrong, sir. And it seems like you're trying to prove me right. We hope that whatever judges you're in front of, Judge Egan and Judge McClendon, are considering or entering into evidence and considering the weight of acts showing consciousness of guilt. It's admissible under Rule 404, right? What you're doing to show that you're guilty. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't care, much less try to tamper with evidence, tamper with witnesses, alter evidence, harass witnesses. You harass me nonstop all day, every day. And we're all sick of it. Everybody's sick of it. You're harassing a lot of people. And we're hearing about it behind your back. You ought to hear what people say behind your back. See, you don't know who's helping you and who's pretending to help you and they're helping us. You don't know. You won't know until it's too late for you. Okay, we told you to leave me and everybody else alone. Here's what we told you to do if you wanted help. Give back what you took from me and Dennis. Get the fuck out. If you made a problem, you better fix it. Because if you don't, we will. When we get information, it's not up to you, nor is that. Give back the money you stole from me. They got a forensic accountant tallying every damage you cause, every injury you cause, even my time. Lost property, lost time, the invasion of my privacy, the invasion of my phones and computers and whatever else you hacked, everything you hacked, the rape. Voyeurism is rape. I define how I see that. It's rape. And we've told you repeatedly to cut it the fuck out, sicko. Okay, and you owe me $5,000 a day for doing that. Until about a week ago, it was $3,000 a day. We upped it. Okay, if you don't stop, you're agreeing to pay the bill. That's how we've presented it in your criminal case. It's on the record in your criminal case. It's not up to you. You don't have consent. You never did, and you know that. Stop watching me in my house. Stop contacting me. I really can't stand it. I cannot stand it. I didn't ask you what you think, and I fucking can't stand you butting into shit that's none of your business, Nosy Nancy. Get a damn life. Get a life and stop interfering. I've been complaining about that for 15 years. What does her letter say? At the very end of it, she doesn't like him interfering. And she's worried about what he's going to do to her and and people in her life, her family. Where's my son today? Where is he? What's his condition? Okay, so if you're keeping me from him, you got something to hide. So what are you hiding and why are you hiding it? And that is an act showing consciousness of guilt, because it shouldn't concern you if I'm talking to my own children. So why are you butting into something that's none of your business, sir? Unless you did something you don't want me to know about. And you've continued to try to murder him and hurt him and cause bodily injury and mental and psychological damage and torture and torment. If you're not doing what I'm saying, then you need to prove that. The burden of proof is not on me. You had 3 chances where the burden of proof was on me, and you fucked it up. You went chicken shit, you're a pussy. You hid, you ducked and hid, and you did your little backroom deal. Okay, you did one with Judge Egan. We know you did, we heard the phone call. It was dismissed with a phone call. We heard it. The appeal, my guys checked into it. He said the appeal, those 3 judges that signed that denial on your appeal didn't even see it. The clerks did it, and if you read the brief, you can tell. They didn't write that. That was done by a damn clerk. It's shit. Doesn't even make sense. The order that they gave you doesn't even make sense. So we started checking in. Why these judges write an order like that? That is the most sloppy, dumb fuck order we've ever seen. So they start checking into it, and he goes, they never saw it. The clerk did it. Charles told him what to say. He's not a lawyer. Charles and those guys told him what to say. Okay, so, I mean, you proved me wrong. Prove me wrong on fact, not RICO violations. Because that is act showing consciousness of guilt. And we would hope that Judge McClendon and Judge Egan moving forward, would give that the proper weight, because everyone else is. See, there's a lot of eyes on this. This is going to go in a congressional hearing. And if you don't want the whole country to see it or hear it, don't say it or don't do it. Okay? You have my word, I promise. What does it cost you in the past? What's it costing you now? What will it cost you in the future to do what you're doing? You butt into something, you interfere, you're going to have to deal with my boss. It's out of my hands. I don't care what he does to you. I really don't. Okay? I don't give a shit. Okay? So, this is my therapist that I saw for a year and a half. Like 36 to 38 visits, hours. 36 to 38 hours she spent with me, Charles. This wasn't a 2-hour eval by some person I just met and who doesn't have access to a whole lot of information they need to have access to, because it's a need-to-know investigation, and that person would not know what we have. You don't know what we have. It's a need-to-know. Gabaldon doesn't know what we have. Judge Egan doesn't know, and Trey McClendon doesn't know, and Judy Parker doesn't know, and Steve Kunzwiller doesn't know. So you ought to hear the laughing behind their backs when they act like they think they know. We're not Trey McClendon so much as some of the other ones. Steve Kunzwiller, Jerry Bender. They don't know what they have. You should see what they have. Oh my God. Now you said that. Oh, that's funny. If you knew what they have, you'd be laughing. You'd be shitting yourself. But we're all laughing at you because you just did something or said something that looks stupid, made you look stupid in light of what they have. What do we have? Who all has it? What are they going to do with it? When are they going to do it? And how pissed off did you want them to be when they do it? I don't want to hear from you, Charles. You don't contact me without it costing you, because I don't want to hear from you at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. Listen, motherfucker, I went to a lot of trouble to move 2 times to get away from you and have no fight, no conflict, nothing to do with you. You give me the heebie-jeebies. You're the nastiest, most gross piece of shit I've ever met in my life. By far. I lived in Vegas. You'd creep out those people. You're that creepy. You creep out the creepy people. You need to get a fucking life, bitch, and get out of mine. Get away from me and get away from my family and get out of my life. Or it's going to be done for you. You don't have a choice. I don't know why you think you do. And the more I complain that you're creepy, the creepier you get. Why can you not just be normal? Why can you not just be normal? Did you get a name doing the stuff you do all day? Do you get any? I find out before, then I know what to do, and your thing doesn't work. Every day, people laugh at y'all. They're like, she finds out every day what he's up to, and then she knows what to do, and then their thing didn't work. And they spend all that time and money planning some harm, some crime to her to hopefully coerce her into being trafficked. And everybody's like, this is the day. We're finally going to get her delivered today and we'll all get our money. And then they have to call and go, well, that didn't work. She found out before. Right, but this has been this way 15 years, dum-dum. Did you really expect it to do what you thought it would do? Did you really expect that? Because you shouldn't at this point. There's no reason to think your plan would work. First of all, what you should have done is find out who she's working for. Maybe had you been nice to her, she would have let her guard down a little bit and slipped up. Because that's all you would get from her is maybe a slip up. But the thing is, she doesn't make mistakes. You know why that is? That's partly you get credit for that. Because you go at her and 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 go at her. And she gets more and more guarded and more. And she doesn't slip up. She does not make mistakes now. You taught her not to. You taught her not to. Don't make a mistake and don't slip up. Because it will cost you your life. It's a life and death deal. So you guys taught her not to talk. You guys taught her not to slip up. You guys taught her not to make a mistake. That would have been the only way to get her boss's name and then make it where she didn't find out before. Maybe. We don't know. There's a lot you don't know about my boss. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so she says here, so after 36 hours with me, 36 to 38, that would have been a year and a half, twice a month, and I went in to see her for an hour or two. Sometimes I was in there for 2 hours. Most of the time it was just one. That's a long, long time. And the conclusion she came to is she doesn't like him butting into her life. And she doesn't like him, she's trying to avoid him. Moving twice wasn't a little clue. I'm trying to get away from you and avoid you. I didn't move down the street. I moved to another town and then another state. And you don't legislate in Oklahoma. And you can't pass a law by yourself. And fraud upon a court, Mr. Perry, is not what a guy needs to do in stalking and human trafficking and coercion, RICO Act violations and peeping and creeping. None of that is what a guy needs to do to pass laws in Texas, sir. Are you unable to identify your legislative duties or what state you legislate in? I mean, are you not embarrassed? Because you ought to hear what people say behind your back. Sometimes I wish that I could tell you what people say behind your back. Sometimes I wish you could hear yourself. Because it's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing what people really think of you. All of you. It's not just Charles, it's all of you. I mean, there's a reason you can't get a name and I can. Like that, Gabaldon. And your name's on the list that does not come off, sir. It will never come off. You got to deal with my boss now. Okay? You interfere. You really, you want to piss him off, that's your choice, but you got to live with that. And there's nothing I can do. I can't help you. It's out of my hands. So do what you do. Okay, but I don't know you and I have your name, so your name came up in police surveillance. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so she's like, he can't get attention. So he's just poking and poking. I think he intended to hurt you. Why did you intend to hurt me? To seek revenge? Or retaliate? Because why? What was your motive in trying to hurt me? Sir, this is a licensed therapist. You picked her. You guys picked her. Okay, I didn't know her. Didn't know Dr. Russell. I wasn't seeking therapy or anything. But you did a false arrest, and part of the bond condition says you got to see a shrink for a year and a half. Well, it just said you got to see a shrink. So you guys picked the shrink, and it's in my court order. It also says that you admitted to stalking and agreed to stop stalking me, and you lied. So now nobody trusts you. A man is only, what is the measure of a man? His word. His word. Okay, my guy keeps his promises. We told you things are going to be different this time because you did this to me. You're going to see things you've not seen before, and you're going to pay in ways you've never had to before. You've gotten away with this heinous crime, depraved, demented, sicko crime all your life. Not this time. Watch. And now we have 419 pages of never-ending scrolling of intel about your criminal activity, okay? Where you just sat down and had a conversation and have specific details as to what harm you were wanting to cause to me and how you were going to do it and when you were going to do it and what weapon you were going to use to do it. Over and over, and you'd get caught, so you do it the next one, and then you get caught, so you do another one. And you might do 20 in a day and get caught 20 times in a day, so that would make for a lot of, posts here or whatever you want to call it, blogs, okay? You're a busy little bee in your crime. Act showing consciousness of guilt, Judge McClendon and Judge Egan and Judge Parker or whoever. Did Judge Parker kick to McClendon? Okay, consider those. Okay, look at this. This is the whole human trafficking page. 419 pages, Charles. You act like you're quoting us, and you're not. You act like you have our names, and you don't. We're quoting you 9.8 million times, sir. Every contact, every problem, every loss. We have 122 of your people's names that you know of. There's more than that, but that's what you know of. And you act like you have our guys' names, and you don't, sir. Are you confused about all this? Now 30 code words. Cotton Eye Joe. That's giving me some eye disease to make me blind. And we've been talking about that for a long time. You've been trying to do that for a long time. Did you do it to Dennis? Would you cause what happened to Dennis? It has nothing to do with the injury of April 20, 2025. It was subsequent and separate. You know who pointed that out? One of the judges that signed an investigatory order. So now we can get names like Gabaldon and such. Okay, you're very confused as to what's happening. And how is that my problem, sir? How is that my problem? It's not. It's not my problem at all. It's your problem. It's your problem. So, there's just... This is the whole thing on my false arrest. And you've been trying to do another one ever since. You've been chomping at the bit for another false arrest. If I committed a crime, you guys have stalker pictures taken of me everywhere I go. You're chomping at the bit for your second false arrest, so you can think that will coerce me into being delivered, and you can get a smear campaign. And we know now. We've said it beforehand many, 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 many times. Everybody loves you for the need to repeat everything for you. Everybody loves that. We just all have nothing to do but repeat things for you because you're a little slow and you didn't get the first time we said it. You know how many times we say things for the whole rest of the planet? One time. One time. So if you're having this many problems with your memory, it probably isn't just Huntington's disease, my shrink says. She says, I believe that he needs to be checked for Alzheimer's because there's something wrong with someone that has to have the same thing said that many times over and over and over and over and over, and you just say the same thing to him, and it just never clicks. And I would think that would be a reason to go to the doctor and find out why you got a memory problem. Okay, even it's in writing here. She goes, he's forgetting it's in writing. He's forgetting that you put it in a blog, so it's right. It's not only stated, but it's stated many times in a recording and in writing, and he still can't remember. You already have that. We've already talked about that. Do we repeat ourselves just because you did? So if you're doing this to me, and with the help that I have, how many victims at the compounds were arrested right before they end up at the compound? Because you did that to some other woman. You've done it to many women. Right? David said you have. David Robertson said you guys have. You do this all the time. So 106 souls out of those 106 was the last head count we heard you guys give each other as to how many total victims you have, and at the various compounds that you have. And so how many of them were in jail? You put them in jail. And there was some fraud upon, of course, so that you could put them in jail. And then you pretend like you're a hero, and you came and got them out and took them to a compound. Now they're being pimped out. Now they're being prostituted so you can get rich and you use tax dollars. Now that's what got the congressman's attention. More than one. So if you don't want the whole country to hear what you say and do, I wouldn't do it or say it if I were you. Mr. Perry, if you contact me, I'm going to get more. I don't want to hear from... I think you need to shut up. You have the right to an attorney. Why don't you go through your attorney? And otherwise, shut the fuck up. Okay? So, we have so much intel. Certainly on Charles, we can bury him in it now. And we already said it. And it's you're trying to give us another I told you so. Well, we told you so. We said that's what he's doing. He just proved us right. Seems like he's been trying to do that for a long time. Prove us right, because he has yet to do anything at all to try to prove us wrong. He acts like he's quoting us. He acts like he has our code words and our names, and he does not. He's very confused about that, and that's not my problem. That's his problem. Okay, so what does it mean that we have it? Dumb David, you answer that question. You don't know either, do you? What evidence do we have against you? Who all has it? What are we going to do with it, and when are we going to do it? And how pissed off did you want us to be when we do it, sir? Did you think of that, Gabaldon? Don't piss my boss off, man. I mean, you can, but you're going to wish you hadn't done that. It's out of my hands. You got to deal with him. If you interfere with something he wants done, you're going to have a problem with him. And a big one. And that's out of my hands. Okay? So, you can't get me fired, and you can't. Yep, there's all the false arrests, bunches of them. Bunch of different reasons. Richard, ask Richard about those. He's been trying to do it too. He's very familiar with him, trying to do the false arrest again. He's tried about 20 things. You'd have had a picture of it, and I would have been arrested I'd have been in jail within the hour. And they'd have their smear campaign and blah, 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 everything they've been trying to do. And let's go in and we need somebody to go talk to her. Who can we get to go talk to her? And tell me what? When I have all this, what is it you think you're going to tell me? You think you're going to tell me something I haven't already heard you say? Do you really think that? You're delusional. What are you going to tell me? We heard you all morning. Who can we get to go talk to her? We just need to sit her down and talk to her. Who can we get to talk to her? Well, and say what? What is it you think you're going to say? Something. My job is to get intel or confirm intel. So a lot of times when somebody starts saying your words, all I have to do is listen. I don't have to say anything back at all. You're going to confirm my intel for me. That's all I need. That's my job. Boom, I just did my job. They couldn't wait to get to me to talk to me. I'm not going where you are. You're going where I am. I don't give a shit what you think. I didn't ask. I never asked you what you thought. And I'm not going to help you. We told you if you want help, you have to give back what you took and get out. And then the guys will call you. We've told you that for 6 years. How much more of this did we get in the last 6 years because you thought you had a choice? Gordy, Gabaldon, Gonzalez, Bro, Bodie, Bob, Brian, Ethan, Phil, Bittencourt, Lucius, Calvin, Geppetto, Blankenship, Beverly, Sonjay. I don't know those people. Those are your people. Marvin, Rachel, Hoyt, Gordy, Jeff, Billy, Trevor, Nathan. Those are your people. So, Mr. Perry, every contact will get me another name. Every problem, every loss, I get another name. Or a Cotton Eye Joe code word. You guys with your code words, I don't know. We're Weeble Wobbles. We Weeble, but no, we don't fall down. I don't know about that. I think, you think that you can sit me down and talk me into what? Yeah, what are you going to talk me into? You said you're not human trafficking. So, human trafficking comes with a life sentence per count. You're aware of that, right? We get your attorneys, going chicken shit 3 times when the burden of proof is on me. There's a big joke about they have a crackerjack law degree, crackerjack box law degree. Can you not define what coercion is? Or that it's illegal to human traffic? Because you should be. If you're a lawyer in your license, you should have that. You should know that. You should be familiar with that. And yet you act like you have no idea. So everybody jokes around. There we go with the crackerjack box law degrees again. Dumb. That's why they wouldn't let her in court. I had 1 year of Bible college at the time. And the burden of proof is on me. And yet you didn't want a jury to see it. You don't want a trial. We still hear you say that. We don't want a trial. What can we do to arrest her, but we can't have a trial? Ask Richard. Ask Richard what he thinks you should do. We love Richard. Richard's our favorite. Okay, so, you got all this that's been sitting here forever and ever and a day, and you act like nobody knows. It's not, they don't know. No, we've got it on here. If it's on here, the guys have it, the actual recording. They have it. It's been heard in likely a probable cause hearing. If they needed some wiretap order or whatever. It's likely already been heard in a courtroom, sir. So who all has heard it? What do we have against you, evidence-wise? Who has it? What are they going to do when they're going to do it? How pissed off did you want us to be when we do it? Charles Perry, peep and creep. Nosy Nancy, nosy body Nancy. You need to get a life. Okay, also here, there's a lot of audio and video evidence on here. Okay? I mean, there's just, oh, it's all out, sir. You spill milk, even if you can get it back into the bottle, it's dirty now. It's got unidentified floaters all in it, and it's nasty. But I mean, it's not the same. And you act like you think it is. Nobody, it's on the blog, but nobody will suspect a thing. They do. Why are you that dumb that you would think that? Why is it you're that dumb that you think nobody would suspect a thing? Why do you think that? You're not getting help, sir. You're not getting names. You're not getting information. Nobody's helping you. They're helping us. We get the names, not you. You're very, very confused about who's getting the help with the information and who's not. And why we get it and why you don't. And what we're doing to get the information and what you're not doing to get the information, to not get it. You're just all confused about all that. And you have all that money and all that power and no one to explain that to you in a way that you can understand it. I don't know. It's not my problem, sir. Never has been, never will be. Okay, so, I mean, we just, this has been here since 2017. If it's here or it's on the public record because it's on a docket, somebody has pointed out now more than once, Mr. Perry, you didn't give Judge Hanson any evidence of a political vendetta because you didn't have any. There is not one. You imagine that. It's not real to me at all. You don't matter politically. I've been in politics all my life. I grew up in it. I didn't need you for a fuck. I already had relationships built when I met you. You're the new guy. And you're one of the smallest districts in one state. And you don't legislate in Oklahoma, do you? Stalking and human trafficking and RICO Act violations are not what a guy needs to do to pass laws in Texas. You don't matter. I lived in John Frulo's district, not yours. By the time you became senator, I'd already moved. I didn't give a shit what you thought about anything. I did help you get elected, in case you forgot. I've always been a Republican. My money goes to Republicans. I've always been registered Republican. So what the fuck planet do you live on, sir? Your delusion is off the rails. And again, you gotta hear the jokes behind your back about it. He's making a buffoon of himself, and he acts like he doesn't know that. And it's too bad. That's just too bad. It's costing him being a delusion like that. It's costing them a lot. I don't think they realize exactly how much it's costing them that he sits around and pretends all day. Well, she gets intel. They don't want anybody having. We're not convinced he doesn't want us having it. We think he does. I'll leave you to figure out why we say that. We think he does want us to have it. I'll leave you to figure out why we say that. Okay? Because we know most people can put that together all by themselves. They don't need me to explain it. What we mean by that. Why does Charles Perry want to help me get intel on his crime? You figure that one out. We don't have to explain that, but he's pretty bent on getting us intel nobody else has. So, the other victims don't have it. Most law enforcement agencies don't have it. We have it. It's our intel. We decide what to do with it. Okay? Nosy body, Nancy? All right, so, we've addressed this, Mr. Perry. This has been asked and answered over and over and over and over. Okay, this issue has been asked and answered. And asked and answered. Are you perpetrating a fraud upon a court again? Are you playing doctor again? If you're not licensed to practice medicine, you go to jail for that. Do you want my guys to add that to the list, sir? Practicing medicine without a license. It's on the court dockets. There's evidence that I was pissed off that you were stalking me, and that I told people I may have to leave town because he's stalking me and he's threatening me all the time. So I may have to leave town, actually. There's nothing about your politics. Your politics didn't matter to me. But we had the same politics. So you didn't tell me, I didn't ask you, can you change this law? And you said, no, I can't change this law, and I got mad. One guy can't do that. One guy can't, it takes thousands of people to pass a law. There's a Congress, and there's a Senate, and then there's a presidential signature, where there's a state assembly, and there's a state senate, and then there's a governor, and you all have to, and then there's a bunch of special interest groups, and there's a bunch of lobbyists, and there's bazillions of people involved in whether or not a law passes. So for you to make such a grandiose thinking entitlement statement that you alone could pass a law that would make me mad enough to file a move twice to get away from you. Not tell anybody but a few close friends that you were stalking me for 4 years. And then after I move and you come and harass me, I move and you come and harass me and threaten me and cause problems for me in the Dallas area. Then I go to Oklahoma to be with my family, and you did it there too. So at this point, I'm like, it's time for a protective order. He's had enough time to control himself and fuck off. So we're going to go to court. So we did. And you know what a reporter said? Actually, it was tweeted, sir. He was asked, do you think she's telling the truth? And the guy replied, I do, and I think you're about to see a nuclear explosion of the truth. You got to see this, what this chick is going to do. Watch her. You're going to see a nuclear explosion of the truth, literally. And that was in 2015. Well, what is the blog, sir? What is it? If not, pretty close to that. You've not been arrested yet, but when that happens, it'll definitely be a nuclear explosion of the truth. And you're giving us more stuff to use against you that we know what to do with it. You want to. That's what you want. Because if you didn't, you'd fuck off. You'd give it back and get out. Now that's in response to Mr. Perry's threats and bribes. Because initially it was just leave her alone. Don't invade her privacy. Don't contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly. She better not be broken, have problems and loss because of you. Fuck off. So it's just a fuck off request. Then he starts threatening and trying to bribe me. So in response to that is, okay, you've stolen a fuck ton of my money. So what are you going to bribe me with? My own money? You owe me money. And I'm not going to be your bitch. You're not going to get rich off of violent crimes against me. Have you met me? You don't know me and you don't know who I know. But you're seeing things you haven't seen before. You just don't understand what it means that we have all this, do you? You act like you think you're getting our inside information, and you're not. We're getting your inside information. You act like you have no idea what that means. How is that my problem? Okay, how is that my problem? We're going to just need to sit her down. We just need to get access to her. We just need to sit her down. All morning we heard you guys talking about that. My guys are like, boy, they're delusional. I mean, that's why they're in the trouble they're in. They're delusional. They think that would work. That would piss us off. That would piss you off. No, we said don't contact her or her family. So after he starts trying to buy me with my own money, he and the response was, no, you're going to give it back, and you're going to fix the problems you caused, and you're going to get the fuck out of my life, or it will be done for you. And it'll probably cost you double because of the legal processes involved in that. So fuck you. You're out of your mind. You are out of your fucking mind. Absolutely fucking not. You've lost your mind. You've completely gone wiggy with this Huntington's disease you have. So, we say that we're going to get more, and we'll do it for you. And we get more every day. So how much more have we gotten since 2020, March 2020 to now? That's what it's cost you, because you thought you had a choice. You thought he was kidding. He's not kidding. So when is he going to do what he does with it? And how pissed off did you want him to be when he does it? And then I always know what to do, so your thing doesn't work. So, I mean, that's been the conversation all morning behind your back. If they had all that time where they had access to her, that they couldn't be nice and get her guard down, and maybe she would have slipped up with a name. How many years was that? 10, 15 years now? 10, 11, 12 years now? And because until they find out who this is, they can't get anything done. And they'll complain about that, but they act like they don't know what that even means. They act like they don't know that. But you're complaining about it. So you do know that. You do know that. And you just continue to do the same thing that gets you the same results. You got nothing. She's got inside information and knew what to do, so your thing didn't work. So I don't know what to tell you. But you keep calling around, and here's the thing. We told you to give it back and get out, so they'll call you. And you said no. Okay, then why are you wasting my time since you already know everything? I mean, you're doing a whole lot of stuff that's not working, even for you. And then you're calling around wanting people to help you. Well, but you're not willing to, we've been doing it wrong all this time. Maybe we ought to do what they said. Give it back and get the fuck out today. And we'll get more, and we'll do it for you. We're happy to do it for you. No. Okay, suit yourself. But don't complain. Because you do the same thing, you get the same result for 15 years. That's the definition of insanity. You wake up in a new world every 5 minutes. You can't remember. We already talked about that. We already heard you talking about that specific injury in great detail. And by the way, it's already on the blog about 20 times. Because when you repeat yourself, we have to repeat ourselves too. And nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But this has been asked and answered, Charles, over and over and over and over. Okay, just because you have Alzheimer's doesn't mean everybody else does. They don't. They don't. Okay, you need to get a life. Okay, I don't like nosy bodies. I don't like butt-ins. You know, if I told you to get the fuck away from me, and that's what I meant. Okay, your delusion is costing you guys. You have no idea how much it's costing you. And it's not just Charles, it's all of you. We're all talking about this morning. Who can we get to talk to her? Who can we get to talk to her? Who can we get to... Oh my God. Wow. I mean, we don't even have words for that. We really don't. That's a major delusion. Major delusion. But that's why you're in the situation you're in. And you don't even know how bad it is. So that's why we hear a lot of complaints. They're bothering me. These people are bothering me. And I don't have time for this. Why do they? Why do they? Get a fucking grip on reality. I mean, what planet do you live on? Okay, so I mean, when we get the court, there's the court cases. So for anybody that's watching this, I mean, due diligence, look at the evidence, because we know our shit, and if you don't, you know, you're gonna piss us off. And you know, I'm famous for being dismissive. I'll just walk off. Okay, I don't have the time. I don't know why you do. Do your homework, because we do our homework. Don't be sloppy. Don't be corrupt. Don't be lazy. Do your fucking homework, because we do. And if you can't keep up with us, we're not slowing down for you. I'll just walk off, because I don't have time or patience. I don't have either one. Okay, so we told you guys what to do if you wanted my boss to call you and help you. And you said no. And we told you, well, we're going to get more, and we did. A whole lot more. And so that had to be what you've wanted, because you've done that all day, every day for 6 years. And so that's your problem, isn't it? Not mine. And you're not quoting us, and you don't have our names, and you don't have our code words. It is the opposite. And that's your problem, not mine. We told you what to do if you wanted help. And when you continue to make phone calls and people are getting frustrated with you, and they're like, look, she told you what you took to do if you wanted a phone call. Okay, you're the one inquiring. And people are starting to talk. Well, there must be something going on, because they're calling me wanting to know what's going on. And then they act like there's nothing going on. But you're calling and asking me, and then you're asking me what to do about it. They told you what to do about it. Okay, so until you're willing to do what they told you, you have to do if you want to talk to them. No one can help you. Keep doing what you've been doing. And then don't call me. You're wasting my time. You know everything. Quit calling me. I got stuff to do. I don't have time for, to tell you what do you want me to do? Repeat them? Come on with the repeating. If you're doing things that are working for you and your objectives are met, then don't call me. Just keep doing what you've been doing. If they're not being met and you're calling me, then you better do what I suggest, which is what they told you to do. Otherwise, I don't have time to talk in circles with you. I really don't. We hear it a lot. We hear a lot of complaints. We hear a lot of jokes. And this is not something that people enjoy having to go through. It's not. You don't have the influence that you used to have. You don't have it. You can't get a name. You've had 15 years and you paid out a lot of money, but because you have done some heinous things to my son and I, it's cost you. Your money bought us intel, and you got nothing else. You got absolutely nothing else. You horrify people, and they're sick of this, and you're not getting that. So the guys will get. They're dealing with it. And that's what you chose to get us the intel. You wanted us to have it, or you wouldn't have done what you did. And that's all there is to it. And I'm sure that Judge McClendon knows how to infer guilt by the things you do. Instead of proving me wrong on fact, you're acting guilty. And you want this covered up, and you want that covered up, and you want to lie about this, and you want to lie about that, and you want a smear campaign, and you want this, and Mr. Perry, you don't matter anymore. You haven't. That's why you're not getting the help. You're very creepy. You're very cruel. You're very unprofessional. You have no dignity. And people want you gone. You and your whole crowd of weirdo. They want y'all gone. So you're not going to get the help. You're not going to get any help. You haven't, and you won't. You have to. We're not like that. We can get names, and we're not like you. We don't interact with people the way you do. We don't run around butting into things that are none of our business. We don't run around threatening and harassing people. We don't run around. We want the suffering to end, killing people and maiming people and injuring people, and let's get the poisons out. And people are even joking around about David Robertson. I don't. You think David Robertson's tough enough to beat up a woman? I've never seen him beat up any woman. Sure shit, not a man. But any woman without having to subdue them first. He always has to have help. So I'm not sure that he is tough enough to beat up a woman. Wow, that doesn't get any more pathetic than that, David. Let's drug her. Let's poison her. You think if we put it in this, she'll drink it? If you think if we put the poison in the disease and whatever in that, you think she'll drink it? Keep talking. We just hit playing. Yep. There. Let's listen. Let's sit there and listen. What's the crime of the day? What do we need a investigatory order for the grocery, or the restaurant? Do we already have one? Do we need another one? Is it a new restaurant? Is it a new grocery? So let's just use that to go get go get the order signed. There you go. You chose it, Charles. If you poke me, this whole thing at Dr. Russell. We're using poke as a metaphor, kind of. If you poke me, we're gonna put you in jail for that. I told you not to contact me at all, and that's why nobody's gonna help you. Nobody will help you. They have not. They will not. How much did we get out of the last 6 years of you poking me? Every contact, every problem, every loss. It cost you, and you just don't give a shit. So don't complain. Get quit sucking your thumb. Don't cry. You know how this works. You do the crime to me, you're gonna get caught. My guy's going to put you in jail. You're pissing him off. We can't imagine why anyone would do the things you do. Do you understand that normal people can't imagine why anybody would do what you do? And behave the way you behave? Well, this is something your attorney and your doctor need to explain to you. You need a doctor to explain why we don't behave the way you're behaving. And why I can get information and you can't. And why everybody wants you gone. Use the information to make him gone. Just like that. That's what everybody wants. Why do you think that is?